A warm welcome to you, Mrs. Twomey. I'm Aruna from Kent Displays, and I'm here to familiarize you more about the Boogie Board. So, on 22nd February 2010, in Ohio, Boogie Board was launched by Improve Electronics. It was created after 2 decades of research, and this device basically was an LCD screen on which you can use a stylus or a fingernail to scratch or write or draw. And it carried a non-replaceable small watch battery, and it lasted for 50,000 erase cycles. Now, erase cycle would mean that you would scribble something on and then press a button and the entire thing would become a blank slate, and so that would complete an erase cycle, and it lasted for 50,000 of those. The size was approximately half of US letter size. It was a few regular sheets thick, 4.2 ounces weight, and it was available through Amazon for $30. And the best part of it all was that it was out of stock by midnight, and this was our MVP. And here are a few words from our CEO, Dr. Albert Green.
You come to a meeting or any meeting, and you've got a phone, you've got a tablet, you've got a computer. This is a digital age, but the last bastion of analog technology is your pad of paper. And the question we asked was, why is that? And the answer, I think, is because the writing experience of paper is outstanding. People love paper. They do not want to give it up. They don't want to write on their phone or their iPad or their computer. They don't want to sit there and type. They want to write on a piece of paper. And so our statement was, if I can give you a writing experience that feels just like paper, you'll eventually give up your pad of paper too. And that's what we're all about. Okay? So we made components, and the component that we made was really an LCD display. And one of those applications was actually a surface for writing. And what we ended up finding was that writing surface, people really, really liked it a lot, and they wanted to know where they could buy it. And so we didn't know any better, so we said, we'll make a product that you can buy in the store. And that's how we transformed ourselves from a company that sold writing surfaces or displays to a company that sells finished products that you can buy.
All right. So, a brief introduction. We started in 1993 in Ohio. We developed our fundamental technology, which is chlorostick LCD display. We developed this in collaboration with the Liquid Crystal Institute of Kent State University. We started off as a display and signage parts manufacturer, and we supplied it, and we collaborated with prominent display industry players. I have a list on the next slide, which I'll be showing you. And we transitioned into a consumer product manufacturer with the e-writers, such as a trademark product that you are seeing, the Boogie Board, in 2010. So our industry partners, like I mentioned, Fujitsu, Eastman Kodak, Matsushita, and various others. So the problem statement that we are trying to address is that individuals need an instrument to take notes. Now, it needs to be easily digitized. You shouldn't have to be taking pictures of it or scanning it or using high-end tools such as OCR and having to share it that way. It should be quick, instantaneous, and yet at the same time, while writing, taking those notes down, you should have the experience of writing it on paper. So, in simple words, it should be same as writing it on a notepad. So it should be portable, it should be easy to use, there shouldn't be any steep learning curve just to operate the device. It should be lightweight, and it should operate under low or no power conditions. And most importantly, with the Push Screen initiative by Kent Displays, we were particular that the device that we were, or the technology that we were going to produce or innovate should be a less wasteful alternative to chalkboard, dry erase board, paper, pencils. Basically, at the end of the day, there shouldn't be any waste, and even if it is, it should be reduced as much as possible so that eventually we can go in the direction of not having waste at all one fine day. So the current options that we have are apps on smartphones, iPhone or Android. Either one should work. So smartphones with stylus, tablets with stylus, or touchscreen monitors. In fact, you could see on the top right hand corner here, that's Samsung S3. I believe Samsung started with Galaxy Tab and Note. Those were the versions that they started handing out styluses along with. But the one thing that you need to remember is that our product, we can't exactly be comparing it to those high-end types. Those are much more sophisticated. They're multi-use, multifunctional, and their basic use is something else. I believe their devices demonstrate more sophistication and more versatility, as opposed to our device, which is strictly focused on the act of writing. So that's why instead we decided that e-ink, companies like e-ink and Liquivista are very much similar to us, in the sense that both of them have their own unique technologies. All the the previously mentioned devices, they're all based off OLED screens. And e-ink has its own electrophoretic concept that it's based off. It's restricted to maximum of black, white, or one other pigment, and currently that is red. And they are in process of creating multicolor screens because they want to enter the flat panel display industry. It is lightweight, low power, and multiple end uses. One main use being the Amazon Kindle. It uses electrophoretic technology. And the other one is Liquivista by Amazon, and this is basically, it's still in progress, it's still getting developed, but it's a recent innovation. It's layers of oil floating about in water, and it's colored oil, and it moves towards the source of the voltage, and that's how it creates contrast. So if you can see at the bottom right hand corner, you can see a 0 volt and a minus 16 volts. So what's happening here is that at the 0 volt, when there's no voltage given, the oil is a flat layer, as flat as it can be, and the minute the voltage is given, it approaches the voltage source, and that's how you get the contrast on one side, and the rest of it is just left white, and that's how it creates the images. And this is in between layers of plastic. This entire action is happening in between layers of plastic, and this is why Liquivista is very close to our technology, the chloristic LCD display, and you'll see why in a bit. So 2011 display market. The reason for this graph was to demonstrate the fact that if you remember, we launched our product in 2010, and it's already on this graph in 2011, and it's also another special thing is that it's midway in comparison to the other leaders like NovaLED and UDC and Cativa, like you see. NovaLED, UDC, Cativa, all of them are OLED manufacturers, and there's also e-ink that's right on the top, far away from the rest of the crowd. But we have, within 1 year, shown that our product has that much potential. And just a special mention to the Lux Research group that conducts this research yearly to demonstrate the trends in the display market, which is very robust, and this is a worldwide carried out research. So the Boogie Board, our homegrown product, writing redefined, that's the motto that we go by. So it's a digitized notepad, and it's a new device in its own arena because it can't be compared to a device used for reading or for watching videos. It is strictly for the act of writing. It uses bistable LCD technology, which consists of cholesteric liquid crystals, and it's very quick in responding to touch with ultra sensitive stylus. You can see at the bottom right hand corner a demonstration of how it would work. So without voltage, it's just all of the particles are pretty much in the same orientation, and as soon as you have pressure they all scatter around, and that's how the emissive quality is produced and thereby produces the image. Now, because the material that creates the image is so close to the surface, it just a little bit of touch would do and it would react. You don't have to pressurize it too much. And that's another reason why there's no parallax error either. Now, with the OLED devices, if you notice, you have a layer of glass. It's not necessarily as thick as the glass that you would probably drink your cocktail from, but it is still thicker compared to the plastic layer that we have on our device. So with that difference, obviously you won't experience any parallax error with our device. With OLEDs, you probably have to keep moving your hand once in a while, especially if you're writing like really tiny letterings, say, you'll have to keep moving around and seeing what you're doing because of the light refraction. You don't need any backlighting because of the same reason. The distance between the surface and where the material is very close, so almost 80-90% of it actually gets emitted right out at you. So you don't need any backlighting, and it becomes blank slate with a push of a button. It is Wi-Fi and Bluetooth integrated. It has a replaceable battery, unlike our MVP. It also had magnetic strips at the back, and that is in case you want to stick it on a refrigerator and leave a note for your family members or colleagues. The current model name is called Jot Rider 8.5, and on average it sells for $20 to $30, depending on the mode. And more about the technology in itself. The material used for our display is the material that's commonly used in mood rings. If you remember, if you press that mood ring, it turns into a certain color, and it's the exact same concept as that. The liquid crystals, like already mentioned, they're pretty much flowing at different rates, and that's what they rearrange to create the image. It can be monochromatic or multicolor, and it has quick response due to the distance, and the thickness of the detail of the line drawn is very proportional to the pressure applied, so you can almost say that it's synonymous with writing on a regular sheet of paper. You shouldn't find any difference at all. And it retains image with low or no power. It's cost effective, thin, lightweight, portable, multiple end-use applications. And I specifically wanted to show this translucent model that we have, which is called Play and Trace model, and it's specifically targeted towards young children. It's basically, you can have a book underneath, and if you want to trace a drawing from it, you can do it using this board. It makes it interactive, fun, and you're learning in the process. And a few fun facts: we have 86 patents, we have 46 in the US and 40 around the world, including East Asia and Western Europe, and there are more on the way, more pending. We are a world leader in no-power scholastic liquid crystal display technology, and we are one of the first to establish a roll-to-roll manufacturing line for flexible displays. And in 2015, we sold 2 million units, which obviously was a drastic increase from the time we launched it to 2013. And our special milestone would be that we would be producing our 5 millionth e-writer this year. So our target market, we have a wide spectrum of users. It can be for a 5-year-old to a 55-year-old executive, note-taking for business people, for students, for children, recreation for children, really like that play and trace model. Essentially for leaving notes within the family, or if you have to make a quick grocery list, you can put that in your pocket and leave and shop around. The specific mention goes to the case study that we did in school in Alberta, Canada. It reduced paper consumption by 40% by adopting this device for day-to-day activities. So that shows the potential once again. Like already we mentioned, display industry is a very huge industry, and normally when we say display industry, it focuses on things like TV displays or monitors. But we are far much lower in terms of the device itself, the sophistication of the device itself. So it would be more of a segmented industry, such as the e-reader industry, like Amazon Kindle, or a graphic tablet like the Wacom drawing tablet. In fact, the product that we are promoting over here would be much closer to the graphic tablet, in that the action that you're doing really is the same, but of course you're not going to be drawing out a drawing tablet and taking down notes specifically for drawing. Likewise, ours is specifically for writing and taking rough notes. The distribution is through Kent Display Storefront. Most importantly, we have a separate site set up just to sell boogie boards, any sort of models, all inclusive. We have online marketplaces like Amazon, we have local departmental stores like Walmart, we have local electronic stores like Best Buy. And the current projects that we have on hand, integrating other forms of communication protocols for more compatibility with devices. We already have Wi-Fi and Bluetooth integration. We would like things like NFC and things alike, basically for easier transfer of data. And content sharing made possible on the cloud, because cloud computing is the biggest thing happening right now with IoT on the go as well. So to be in that same arena would do us good. Saving and editing data, yes, that's part of it, but that still takes a lower priority compared to the other two on top. And because we are one of the first to establish a flexible display manufacturing line, and we are in our process to create a second line, making it more robust, we would like to continue that tradition. And considering the flexible displays market is going to be reaching 3,298 million by 2017, we would like to stay in the path of getting into that market. In fact, our ultimate goal is to create something like an electronic skin which can be applied to any sort of device, any sort of surface, so that you build the ability to display anything anywhere. So our future then, with a revenue of 15 million till date, we would like to increase our revenue by 50% in the next 5 years, and we focus on expanding manufacturing efforts to match the demand, improved connectivity for sure, and diversifying our usage, flat panel industry and signage industry, and most importantly, developing our flexible displays sector. And that concludes our presentation. Thank you very much for your time.